guys, I just love my blessed mug. Before I do these videos, I usually just make myself a cup of hot chocolate as I answer the questions that you ask. It feels like the hot chocolate actually tastes better with this mug. Wipe your tears. Don't cry. There is a proven way for you to determine gender. So if you are feeling overwhelmed, you just found out that you had a wonderful baby that you were expecting and it was not the gender that you prefer and you're willing to try again, or you're petrified of not having a particular gender as you have your children, then this video is for you. Stay tuned because what I'm about to share with you is the proven way to gender selection. Hello everybody, it's Fertility Journals here and thank you for watching. If you're new to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe and join the family. I upload new videos every Tuesday that detail my journey through infertility. And I decided to start this YouTube channel as a way to motivate, inspire, and educate others. Because when I was going through the process, I relied heavily on YouTube and research to be able to really research my diagnosis, which led to my eventual success. So the hope is that I can be part of the story that provides you the information that you need as you pursue your own journey. Thank you for watching. Today, I'm going to talk about gender selection. Now, as a precursor, I want you to know that if you are going through infertility, or if you're watching this and you're not going through infertility, this is not something that people who go through infertility even worry about. Our goal is to just get that golden egg that's going to get us that baby. We just want that precious baby. We're just happy that that is the situation. However, I decided to do today's video because I did get somebody that responded to the video that I did about Khloe Kardashian, and they asked an interesting question to me, and I'll put my email here so that you can, if you have any questions at all, you can always send me an email. But they asked me a very unique question, and they said, how was Khloe determining the gender of the child? How does that all work? And they also mentioned that they are really trying to see if they could get a child with a specific gender to balance their family. And so I decided to do this video because I know that for many of you who don't go through infertility, you don't know the trends in medicine and what has actually progressed, in terms of science to help you. And so hopefully you'll walk away today a little bit informed and educated about that option. The way to get a child of your preferred gender is to go through IVF or in vitro fertilization. In vitro fertilization is a process whereby, in a nutshell, the doctors give you a stimulation protocol that grows the eggs you have to create multiple eggs. You then undergo an egg retrieval process where they retrieve the eggs from your body and then they fertilize them with your husband or partner or donor's sperm, and then they create embryos like you saw in the case for Khloe Kardashian and Tristan. And these embryos, this is the caveat, are then grown to the 5th day, which is the legal time limit in the United States that is approved to grow embryos. Once they grow to the 5th day, they have 100 plus cells, and that's where the magic happens. Because on the 5th day, with these 100 plus cells, it is also information. Now, what happens at that time is that in order to ensure that the embryo is healthy, because not all embryos are healthy, regardless of age, what happens is not every embryo will result in a pregnancy, right? So it undergoes what they call PGTA testing, which is a basic testing that is used to determine the health of the embryo. And it is within that testing that you will be able to find out the gender. And then what will happen is that they will freeze that embryo. When they take the sample, they freeze it. They will then give you the results to let you know the gender. and then you will go through what is called a transfer process, where they will implant that embryo back. And that, in a nutshell, very briefly, is how you can determine the gender of the child you would like to have. Now, here is the caveat. There are different types of IVF that suit different types of individuals, particularly if you're not going through infertility and you're curious about how to do this. I will share with you the different types and you can determine which is the right one for you. The first IVF that many of you have heard about, even if you're not going through infertility, is called conventional or the standard IVF. This is the most expensive. You pay over $20,000, you pay $5,000 worth of medications plus, and it is a beautiful gift of a treatment that is intended to grow your entire family. And so a lot of people who go through this type of IVF, if they don't have any major fertility issues, if they're younger and have healthier eggs, for example, they are able to then get multiple embryos that they can store and freeze and utilize. So if you are in the early stages of growing your family and gender is important to you, then you may consider the standard or conventional IVF. I do think that as I was discussing these options with others, they think about the long-term cost of having kids of the same gender if your family isn't balanced, like if you have multiple boys, you have multiple girls, and you're trying for a child of the other gender. When you think about things like college costs and how much it costs to be able to educate and raise a child, then conventional IVF in the large scheme of things is really a small price to pay. And so if you are in that situation, then that may be the IVF for you. The second most common IVF treatment, this is actually lesser known, but this is actually the one that I saw in my clinic, for example, that many women who did not undergo infertility would use to select gender for family balancing. And this is what we call mini IVF. And when I think of it, actually, my clinic is located in Orange County, California, where women's dreams come true, right? Everybody says that Orange County is where every woman's dreams comes true. Well, that's a joke that my husband and I have, but I did see a woman there who obviously was not going through infertility like I was, and they really were going through the mini IVF to be able to family balance, which is perfectly fine. And so the way mini IVF works in terms of how different it is from a conventional or standard IVF is that it's ideal for somebody who does not want multiple embryos, is not building their family for the first time, but really you just want to give yourself the best chance to be able to have a child of the other gender. The protocol in mini IVF is so minimal and so minuscule that it doesn't result in a lot of eggs, because you don't necessarily want a lot of eggs. You just want to give yourself a fair chance to see if you can get a child of the opposite gender that you prefer. And so what happens in mini IVF is they give you a minimal stimulation protocol. And one thing that they do in the IVF process for gender selection is they do a sperm sorting. There is a science in which the embryologist can determine, based on looking at the sperm, if there's a high probability of you getting a male or a high probability of you getting a female. And there's a fee that you pay for that. So you go ahead and pay that fee, and then as they integrate through the in vitro process, your partner or husband's or donor sperm to your eggs, then they ensure that they use that sortation to give you the preferred gender. And then again, you wait for the 5th day, where there's 100 plus cells. They take those cells for the testing, and then they will let you know how many of your embryos are healthy and the gender. And then you go through the transfer process to implant the gender that you prefer. And that is mini IVF. The other two types of IVF are really interesting. So ultra mini IVF is similar to mini IVF, but is less medications. So I'm not gonna spend time to talk about it because it works the same like mini IVF. Now, the last IVF type that you could consider if you're interested in seeing if you could undergo gender selection is natural IVF. This is the type of IVF where you take no medications at all. It follows your natural cycle. You have the doctor retrieve the egg that month in vitro, and then they do the sorting of the sperm to increase the likelihood, and then take it up to the 5th day, and then go through the cycle, continues to test it, and then we'll let you know the gender. And maybe you could do this with your embryos as you grow your family. Maybe you could do this 2 or 3 times to be able to see if you can get the balance that you need for your family. Next, I will talk about the cost. So conventional IVF is the most expensive, but when it comes to mini IVF, ultra mini, and natural cycle IVF, they are a quarter of the price. And in most clinics, it is less than $5,000. And so that, or around about that amount. And so again, for many of you who are probably watching this video, you're thinking about the long term of probably having this child and, college, the costs involved, and you're thinking, you know what, it's probably worth it for me to try. And so, but again, these other types of IVF are much more cost effective than the big standard IVF. And the last question I'll answer is the young lady who had asked me, talked about the pain level. Well, when it comes to mini IVF, natural cycle IVF, ultra mini IVF, the pain is minimal. In fact, when I was going through infertility, and I have age-related infertility, and I was going through mini IVF, I didn't have to be put under for my egg retrievals. The egg retrieval felt like just like an injection for blood, because I only would produce 1 egg at a time in some cases, and so it wasn't painful at all. And so, but if you are somebody who is fearful of pain or you're worried about pain, they can definitely give you medication to help with that. And that, folks, is how you select gender, the proven technique, the new age era in how you do it. And if you are interested in other people's stories and how they used IVF to select gender, please take a look at the videos below so that you can be inspired. Now, if you're going through infertility, obviously it doesn't matter because you just want a baby earthside. If you're like me, I just wanted a baby earthside. But if for some reason gender means a lot to you and you'd like to plan your family, then please know that the science is there and there is a way for you to do that with proven success. Thanks for watching. If you're not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Until my next video, bye.